Welcome to Bill's Bridge class. Class 21, Defensive Bidding Overview. Friday, April 26, 2013. The time has come, the walrus said, to speak of many things. Look at the overview of the entire defensive bidding structure which we are now beginning to undertake. As the auction progresses, there may be 4 players involved within the auction, and each player has a name as we discuss what goes on within the auction, competitive auction in particular. The opener is the first person to actually make a bid, a suit or no trump and a level. The responder is the partner of the opener. They are called the offending side or the offensive team. The overcaller, if there is one, is the first opponent of the opener's team making a bid other than pass. That bid may be a bid or it may be a double. The advancer is the partner of the overcaller. We need that in our discussion as follows. Here's an example. South opens 1 diamond. He's the opener. West doubles. Even though it's not a bid, double is a request for partner to take action, and as such he is called the overcaller. Redouble is the responder. He may pass throughout, but he is the partner of the opener. East is the advancer. Couple of notes. Like I say, double and redouble are often used instead of, in lieu of, proposing a contract by a bid, and itself propose a set of alternative contracts or a contract. Also note that West here is referred to as the overcaller, even though his bid was not strictly speaking an overcall. When the opponents start the auction, you are at a disadvantage. The opener's partner knows something about his partner, basically that he opened. He has some points. You don't know anything about your partner. In fact, you may know he's a passed hand. When the opponents start the auction, you have a different set of objectives than the opener's team. You are less likely to reach a game because there is an opponent that has an opening hand opposite you. You are more likely to be doubled and set, so you are taking on a risk by bidding, much more of a risk than the opener does. Your objective is more likely to be to interfere with the opponents or to sacrifice rather than to reach game or even a slam. Some of the principles of the defending team. Hand pattern determines the action taken or not taken. With the opener, you will decide based on your strength whether it's worthwhile to bid or not. Oftentimes you may have the points, but you do choose not to bid because of hand pattern. However, it is better to get in there from the beginning. Sandbagging is not an effective strategy most of the time. It's better to get in first if you can, even with risk involved. And the more descriptive and exact your first bid, the better. That's true in general, but is particularly true of the defender because the risk is greater. Suit solidarity and intermediary cards are critical if you're going to overcall. There's safety in them are honor cards. Your strong offensive hand should begin with preemption. Hands that will make a lot of tricks, but not necessarily defense. Strong defensive hands should provide room for partner to participate or opponents to overreach, getting them in trouble instead. And as usual, major suits, particularly spades, are the top dog, so emphasize them in your bidding, especially as the defending team. And lastly, maybe it should be firstly, vulnerability plays an important role in the decision-making process. Most of the time, before you make a bid, you will look at the vulnerability, whether you're favorable, unfavorable, or equal vulnerability. It is part of the formula. What is the structure? One suited hands are simple to bid. You bid the suit. Got to figure the level. A simple overcall is stronger in defense than a jump overcall because a jump overcall tends to be weak or preemptive. Unless it's a specialized pass-out seat, which we'll cover in another class. The level of the bid and the vulnerability conditions control the use of the bid. You may choose not to bid because of unfavorable vulnerability, for example. And most responses to overcalls by the advancer are descriptive but non-forcing, unlike the opener and his partner. Two suited hands where one bid tells both suits is an advantage over other bidding structures, and I'm going to spend a lot of time on that in other sessions in the future. With two suits to pick from or to play from, the odds of finding a fit with your partner are great, over 70%, if partner knows both suits. But if you must ask about the second suit, only one suit is known, the opponents may preempt, and it may be too dangerous to ask for the second suit. Hands are usually preemptive in nature that are two-suited, but they may also be very strong. With intermediate strength, bid naturally in the form of an overcall, hoping to bid your second suit if possible. What about three-suited hands or balanced hands? They're often handled by either a double or a natural no-trump bid. But in that regard, make note of the following. Yes, there are different two-suited doubles. And yes, there are distributional no-trump jumps. And one of the toughest things for a new bridge player, a neophyte at the game, is to understand is you may be forced to pass, even with values for an opening bid, if the opponents open first. The primary reason is you have length in the opener's suit. You are stacked. An example, right-hand opponent opens one heart, and here's your hand. You don't have a good bid. A double begs your partner to bid, and a heart Q bid at whatever level tends to show something else, which we'll cover in later sessions, but you do not want to bid. You pass. You hope that partner will make a takeout double and you will pass for penalty, converting partner's takeout to a penalty. Oh, the game is fascinating. Here are possible actions by the defending side. A simple overcall, bid a new suit. That could be a suit without a jump at the 1 level. It could be without a jump at the 2 level, 1 diamond, 2 clubs. It could be a suit with a jump at the 2 or 3 level, 1 heart, 3 clubs. A natural 1 no trump overcall. A takeout double, which we'll cover in some detail very soon. A Q bid of the opponent's suit has special meanings which we'll cover in subsequent sessions. 2 no trump. Most people play as unusual no trump. It's a two-suited bid, not a natural bid, and alertable. A jump Q bid. That's a subject all of its own. Opponent open 1 heart and you jump to 3 hearts. What in the world does that mean? There are other conventional two-suited bids, and we're going to take at least 2 sessions to cover two-suited overcall type bids. Here is the layout as we go forward from here. We're going to spend a lot of time on defensive bidding. Class 22, we're going to talk about the overcall. The next day, Class 23, we're going to talk about the takeout double. The next day, Class 24, we're talking about a natural 1 no trump overcall. Class 25, we're going to talk about what traditional standard American two-suited overcalls mean. Class 26, I'm going to offer alternatives to other two-suited overcalls. And class 27, I'm going to give you a proposition on the overall defensive bidding structure, and I will warn you in advance, it is somewhat different than what people would call, quote, standard American. But hey, we have a right to be different, don't we? And I'm somewhat different. Tomorrow, we're going to start with class 22, the overcall. That's really the basis of defensive bidding, the foundation of defensive bidding. See you Saturday, tomorrow. Have a great weekend.